Our trip to Japan was by far the hardest trip we've ever planned. There's just too much information out there, some of it contradictory or downright confusing, and it took us way too long to figure out what we were going to do and how we were going to do it. What places should we skip this time? Where should we eat? Where should we go? Should we buy an e-card or should we rent a portable Wi-Fi? What's the best time to go to this particular area? There's just too much to think about. We learned so much while we were planning this trip and still made quite a few big mistakes. So here are a few tips that will help you prepare your trip to Japan. Let's start with probably the biggest headache you'll have when you're planning your itinerary. How are you going to get around? Well, Japan is very well connected through an extensive transport system, and if you're planning to visit different cities, then the first thing you need to do after deciding where you want to go is use the JR Fare calculator. This will tell you if it's worth for you to buy a Japan Rail Pass or if it's more cost effective to buy Shinkansen tickets individually. In our case, getting a JR Pass was our best option since we were going to visit Tokyo, Kyoto, Hiroshima, and do a couple other detours on our way back to Tokyo. Without the JR Pass, we would have spent over 50,000 yen on train tickets alone. With the JR Pass, we were free to travel whenever and as many times as we wanted for 29,000 yen. It was a great deal. But here's the bad news. The Japan Rail Pass will be so much more expensive from October 2023. If you haven't seen the news, the prices of the JR Pass will increase by more than 65%. Here's the new plan. If you're planning on traveling to Japan from October 2023, make sure you either save up this much money for a train pass or stick to a couple of Shinkansen journeys. If you're going ahead with the JR Pass, here's a little caveat. You need to pre-order it online well in advance so you can receive a voucher, which you'll then need to exchange at the airport once you arrive in Japan. Basically, you'll need to pre-order an exchange order, which is this piece of paper, which you'll then exchange for a ticket like this, which by the way is non-refundable, so if you lose it, you're fucked. So be careful with your tickets once you get them. Exchanging the voucher for the ticket is easy. You just need to go to a JR Pass ticket counter at the airport and they'll know what to do. You can travel around Tokyo with the JR Pass, but it only covers the Yamanote line, so bear in mind you'll need to get a Pasmo or Suica card to travel on other lines. One more thing about Shinkansen tickets. You need to book a seat on the trains you're planning on getting on. We couldn't understand how to do this without it taking us precious hours of our time in Tokyo, so we just asked at a ticket counter if they could do it for us. But we would recommend you to try to do it online or at a machine at train stations that supposedly exists but we could never find. If you don't know exactly when you're going to catch the Shinkansen train, that's okay. There's usually a carriage reserved for people who have not pre-booked a seat. If there are no more seats available, you'll just have to wait for the next train and try again. If you're worried about where you're going to leave your luggage, you should be. From our experience at train stations in Japan, your chances of finding a free locker after 10 AM are pretty low. If you're traveling somewhere early in the morning, it should be fine to find one, or you can always try to leave your luggage at your accommodation. Just remember, a lot of people probably have the same exact itinerary you have, and will probably also want to leave their luggage in a locker. Let's keep this short because I find this topic extremely boring, but yes, you need Wi-Fi to survive nowadays, so if you're traveling with at least one other person, get a pocket Wi-Fi. We went for this one and have zero complaints. Here's my pro tip: book a twin room as they're always bigger than double rooms. When booking a stay at a hotel, space is luxury when you're in cities like Tokyo. Also, stay somewhere with a private onsen. Relaxing in an onsen after a long day of exploring is priceless. Here are some other tips to make your stay in Japan as problem-free as possible. Always have cash on you. Get it from a 7-Eleven ATM and always have it on hand if you want to buy street food and pay for things like fortunes and drinks from vending machines. Some restaurants only accept cash as well. Speaking of restaurants, don't tip. You may be chased by a waiter who thinks you've left your change by mistake. Be polite and don't speak loudly, especially on public transport. Wear a face mask if everyone around you is also wearing one. If you don't already have it on your phone, download Google Translate. You'll most definitely need it unless you're fluent in Japanese. It probably won't work 100% accurately in every situation, but it helps a lot. We had conversations with the help of Google Translate and can confirm it's a lifesaver. Learn the basics of Japanese. Please don't go around saying arigato.
He don't speak English? I don't speak Japanese.
Arigato. She said thank you.
Arigato, thank you. You welcome.
You should say arigatou gozaimasu and at least konnichiwa when saying hello, and don't forget to bow. We didn't realize how long it would take us to get over the 9-hour difference between our time zone and Japan's. We only started feeling like ourselves on day 5 of our trip. We were running on pure excitement the rest of the time and waking up every day at 6 AM or even earlier. So by day 5, we were mentally okay but physically exhausted. This also leads us to the biggest mistake we made when planning our trip to Japan. If you've been paying attention to our vlogs, you probably already know what our biggest mistake was. Yep. We crammed too much into one trip. We spent 2 days in Tokyo, 3 days in Kyoto with a day trip to Nara, 2 days in Hiroshima with a day trip to Miyajima, and then Osaka, and spent the last 2 days of our trip in Tokyo. That's way too much unless you're not jet lagged and really want to see this much in such a short amount of time. We don't regret doing any of the day trips, but that meant we couldn't explore Nara and Miyajima properly, since we visited for only a few hours. And some places definitely require at least half a day of travel, like Karashiyama and Fushimi Inari. We didn't have time to hike Mount Misen or even go all the way to the top of Fushimi Inari, which was one of the things we wanted to do. And that's an issue in and of itself. We didn't take into account that we'd get lost at train stations, that we'd miss trains because of that we'd be dragging ourselves with our backpacks, that we'd run out of memory and had to spend an hour looking for an SD card, or simply how long we've spent shopping for food, or waiting in queues, or waiting to be served at the restaurant. Every second counts when your itinerary is packed, and even though we weren't jumping from one place to the other and tried to enjoy as much as we could, there's only 24 hours in a day. And the truth is, we just had too many things to see. We missed out on a few big ones, but the silver lining is, we have plenty to do next time we go to Japan, and we'll take you along when we do. Thanks for watching, and please leave other tips for traveling in Japan in the comment section below. And if you have any questions, we're always here to answer them. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you on another adventure.